Hey y'all, Myria Com here again. I did a recording earlier today, and I said I was thinking of doing another one today as well, because I had another idea. And I don't know how good of an idea this is. That was a long sigh, I apologize for that. I don't know if I'll be able to cut that out. Um, I don't know if this is a great idea for a recording. I don't know how well this recording is going to work, because I won't be able to hold my phone while I'm doing it. But here we are. So the idea for this recording came up when I was on a work trip yesterday with my boss. We had to drive to and from an out of town meeting, and the drive either way was like 2.5 to 3 hours each way. So a lot of time to just sit and talk. Woohoo! And so we talked about a lot of work stuff, but we also talked about like personal life stuff. And one of the things that came up is she has a cousin who is trans, whose parents do not accept that. Um a lot of their like extended family, I would say some of their extended family accepts that she is trans, and then uh but there is also a lot of their extended family that does not accept that she is trans. And I'm saying they because I'm saying my boss and her cousin. Anyway, so uh her cousin is like sort of not is kind of no contact with her parents, not completely though. And like her dad is not doing well, and so not doing well health wise, and it is kind of a big deal for my boss's cousin, because my boss's cousin would like to be there for him, but he and then her mom don't accept her as trans, so it's just kind of a whole big thing. And so we I don't remember how we got on the topic of that, but we were on that topic. And like my boss, basically we were just talking about like, oh well, I'm also no contact with my parents, and I don't know if I would even want to be there if my parents were sick or whatever. Um, I don't know. That's hard. It's hard to look at that hypothetical and think about it. And my boss also like said something along the lines of, well, there will be a point in time where your parents will no longer even be in this world, and you will have to decide what that means for you. Do you want to be involved if they are dying? It's just something you have to think about. And I was just like, wow, yeah, you're right. I should probably think about that. I don't want to think about it right now. um, and as I mentioned in my earlier recording, I don't know if I'm posting this today, but I recorded it today, so I'm just going to say my earlier recording. Like, I don't know if there is ever going to be a chance of me reconciling with my parents, because it's totally on them, and it would require them to acknowledge, like, that they are the reason we are no contact. It's not, yes, I made the decision, but I made the decision based on things they have done. Based on things they have done for several years, based on values they have held and currently hold, as far as I am aware, etc. And well, because I had this conversation with my boss the other day, talking about my parents, talking about going no contact with them, talking about the fact that eventually they will be dead, and I have to know, it is something I will have to think about of whether I want to try and reconcile with them before that. So, there are a couple of different things I kind of wanted to do in relation to this, and I forgot one of them, so I'm going to have to look it up real quick. I apologize. I kind of forgot about it. I thought about the big important part of this, but there's another part of it. Anyway, instead of being vague, I will just say what it is. So should be in spring 2026, if I saved him. Alright, so the first thing I kind of want to do is I might hate this rereading it because I haven't read it since I sent it, but I did take a picture of the letter that I sent my parents at the beginning of this year, 2026, that outlines some of the reasons I have gone no contact with them. Obviously, the longer there is distance between me and them, the more I am able to unpack, like, what all has led up to this, because there is a lot more than just the instigating incident. So, here we go. Here's the letter. I'm going to start with that. I will start with the letter that I wrote to them at the beginning of 2026. And then I'm going to move on to reading through all of the cards my mom has sent me over the past year that I have been no contact with them. I have read through a few of them already. I don't remember specifically what any of them say. The ones that I did look at, for the most part, were just greeting cards with nothing extra added. So, we'll see. But she has sent me a couple more larger things that, like, at least one of them is obviously more than just a greeting card, and I have not opened that yet. So, anyway, we will start with the letter that I wrote to them, and then we will move on to the greeting cards with commentary. So, hooray. So here's the letter. Mom and Dad, I've been trying to rewrite this repeatedly over the past several months with little luck. I suspect it's been mostly pointless anyway, because I don't expect you to take any of this to heart, reflect, or be willing to change. Pausing for a second to say, this is probably very unfair to say at the beginning of this letter. However, I was very emotional every time I tried to write this, and this was much nicer than anything I had written beforehand. So, anyway, moving on. Instead of a long-winded explanation of why I've cut off contact with you, have a bulleted list that will hopefully be more digestible. Reasons I have cut off contact with you. Bullet point 1. Homophobia, transphobia, acephobia, Islamophobia, etc. All kinds of phobias. Bullet point 2. Racism. Blatant racism from Dad, implied from Mom. Bullet point 3. Misogyny. Very blatant from Dad. Such as, Kamala Harris only got where she is by sucking cock, for example. Bullet point number 4. Continuing to support a lawless administration that's eroding our democracy and hurting countless people across the globe. Bullet point 5. I have never been a clear priority in your lives outside of what I can do for you. Bullet point 6. Our conversations over the past several years have been full of verbal, emotional, and psychological abuse, and I'm tired of that. Bullet point 7. You refuse to explain your choices and views, leaving me to make assumptions about your motives. I won't elaborate on any of these factors, as I've been pointing them out for years. If you haven't retained any of it, that just proves you don't value my opinion, which is fine. I don't value yours. I don't respect either of you at this point, since you outwardly hate folks who are different from you, while pretending to be good people. You raised me to be a better person than the people you currently support. Unless you're willing to reflect on these choices you have made and consider making changes, I do not have any desire to have you in my life. The peace I feel without your presence in my life is worth being the villain in your story. And that was the end of the letter I sent to them. I suppose I didn't tell them exactly that you have to tell me, like, you have to apologize to me in order for me to talk to you again, but I think that's implied. I guess, you know, with the kind of people they are, they probably don't care or don't understand that. They probably Whatever. I guess I should have been clearer. This is the problem that I have. Because I don't. Ugh. This is the problem that I have with the fact that I was very emotional every time I tried to write that letter to them, and I eventually just had to go with something so that it could, get something to them, so that I could get something to them. Anyway, so that was the letter I sent them. It is at least clear about the major problems I have had with them. So, ta-da. I didn't elaborate, like I said, because a lot of the things that are issues in there are things that I have told them for years. Like, hey, the thing you just said was very racist. You should not say that kind of stuff anymore. Ta-da. And then, a week later they would say the same exact goddamn thing. And then I would tell them again, hey, the thing you just said is very racist. Don't say that anymore. And then they would say the same thing a week later. So, that's just an example. But anyway, so, that was the letter I sent them. I think it's pretty clear. Maybe I'm wrong. Whatever. Let's start with card number 1 that was sent at the end of January 2025. Theoretically, this may have been about for my birthday. This would have been a little prior to my birthday, but I guess they were trying to be early or something. And it just says, once upon a time you were born, and in one instant the world became a more enchanting and magical place. Happy birthday. Every day is a gift. Cherish every moment. We miss you. And it includes a gift card, which is why I'm saying, oh, this was probably birthday, and it says happy birthday as well, so whatever. I have not touched the gift card. So, when I first opened some of these, I was like, oh, this means nothing, whatever, ta-da. And I wasn't going to do anything else with them, I was just going to put them back on my shelf and be fine with it. Well, when I was celebrating my birthday with some friends, I was talking about being no contact with my parents with one of those friends, and she is also a parent. So, the full disclosure there, she is a parent and a step-parent, so she has, a little bit of other side, a little bit of opinion from, the other side of things, which I think is kind of helpful. So, and she also had some trauma with her parents growing up as well. Mostly her mom, and, she is, on speaking terms with her mom right now. And she went through worse stuff with her parents than I did. So, I mean, I think she has interesting insight into this particular situation. So what she said when I was talking to her about this whole thing, I had mentioned that my mom has been sending me cards throughout the year, and I haven't really looked at them very closely or too much, and she said, well, if there's money in any of them, you should spend it, and you should spend it... If you really want to be vindictive, you could spend it in a way that they would hate. But, I mean, realistically, if there's money in there, you should spend it, because it's on them if they are sending you money or gifts or whatever. You shouldn't deny yourself that just because it came from your parents. And if you really want to, if they sent you cash or a check or something, donate it to a cause that they would view as bad. Donate it to an LGBTQIA group or something. And so, previously, I was of the opinion that I was just gonna not do anything with any money or gift cards or anything that's in any of these cards. But after having that conversation with my friend, I am going to use the gift cards and use the cash and or checks or whatever. So, and I will try and use it in a way that my parents would disagree with. So, I'm going to try and use this money that is coming from people that I don't like, whose values I think are bad, who I believe are, whether they have always secretly been terrible people or whether that has just happened as they've gotten older, I don't know. My dad has always been a misogynist and a racist. My mom, I don't think my mom is exactly a racist, but she is a transphobe. She is like, she's not a racist exactly, but she espouses a lot of beliefs and values that racists espouse. So, like, it's hard because she, like, is anti illegal immigrant, but I don't know how much of that is just because that's what my dad thinks, or if she actually believes that. So, it's hard to know. Anyway, so gift card, gonna keep you that and use that. Woohoo, hurrah. So this had 2 cards in it. My mom has always done that kind of silly crap. I don't understand why, but whatever. The second card says, keep looking up, and it's a photo of a kitten looking up. And see the hope in each new day. And then it says, please remember, you are an amazing, wonderful person. Okay, whatever. Great, glad you think so. Unfortunately, that means nothing. Like, my mom writing that in a card means nothing because I'm sorry if there are weird sounds because I am occasionally putting my phone down to adjust cards and such. So my mom writing that in a card means nothing to me because not only has she said things that are incredibly rude about me and people who are like me and groups that I am a part of and such, but also, as I have said, she is supporting politically and otherwise people who hate people like me. So saying you, like, writing in a card that you think I am an amazing and wonderful person means jack when your actions show that you hate people like me. So, whatever. Alright, second envelope was from Valentine's Day of 2025. And this one has a check in it as well, apparently. Hooray, I guess. It is making me so nervous and feel kind of gross, but it'll be fine. So this one says, love, hugs, and happiness. That's what you're wished on Valentine's Day and always. And then the stupid thing my mom wrote says, our family is like the branches of a tree. We may grow in different directions, yet our roots remain as one. We love you. Now, I'm just going to point out, all of these are written by my mother. My dad, historically, has not even been involved in selecting cards. I know this because he has said as much. Like, he's very much a kind of typical misogynistic man who thinks anything related to the kids is supposed to be done by the wife, unless it's boy things with his son, which my brother is his adopted son, so there's that. So I know that he was not involved in choosing these cards. I don't know if he has ever actually seen any of these cards. My mom has often, throughout my entire life, signed cards to any of the children for both her and my dad, so I don't know if he actually knows that any of these even exist. Anyway, then there's a check, which I will cash and use for something. Don't know what. Alright, 2 envelopes down. This is going to be long simply because I am, like, opening things and stuff. Here's the funny thing about this third one. That was from September of 2025, so my mom did take a huge break there, which I guess is good, but whatever. The really funny thing is this third card is the same card as the second one that was in my birthday card. So it's the same keep looking up with a kitten on the front and see the hope in each new day. And then what my mom wrote is love you and hope to be able to see you or talk to you sometime. And this one was signed by just my mom. Like, she didn't even sign my dad's name on that one, which makes me wonder if my dad even cares. Or if she was just like, whatever, this is just coming from me. I don't know. We'll see. But, so that one and that one had nothing extra in it, just that. So, hurrah. Card envelope number 4, which is from around Halloween of 2025. And it's a card that says Happy Halloween. Hope it's a glorious bunch of hocus pocus. And then my mom wrote, we love you. There's a picture of a cat on the inside, so she said, this is your cat in costume. This was right before my cat died, so that's kind of funny. That's all that one says. Hurrah. I mean, it's just kind of hilariously silly to me, because she was clearly trying, but her level of trying is, like, so superficial and, like, surface level. She's not even trying to address. I mean, these are all before I sent the letter, so she could have plausible deniability about why we're not talking, but whatever. It's not really plausible, realistically. It's only plausible because I know they don't care and have not paid attention and don't think they have ever done anything wrong as parents. Or at least they won't say they've ever done anything wrong as parents. Ta-da. So yeah. Anyway, this one is from November of 2025. And I remember what this one is, but I'm gonna look at it anyway. So it says, remembering a life well lived. You've lost someone special, someone who made a lasting difference in your world and in your heart. Please know that you are being remembered during this time and that warm and caring thoughts are sent your way now and in the days ahead. And then my mom wrote, your brother told us that your cat was sick, and then your sister told us that you had to put him to sleep. We are so sorry. We love you. And then signed it from both my mom and dad. Yeah, that made me emotional because it was about my cat. Anyway, so it's just frustrating to me because she didn't. You'd think she would understand, because there's this check that's been in one of these cards since the beginning of last year. I hadn't cashed that, so you would think she would understand that I'm not reading these cards. So why would you send a card? I don't understand why. I do know why. It's because it makes her feel better. It makes her feel like she's trying. It makes her feel like she's doing something when she's not, because she's not addressing the issues. She's just pretending the issues don't exist. And that's not good or right. Anyway, this one is from the end of November, so it's probably, oh yep, it is. It's a Thanksgiving card. It says, Happy Friendsgiving, so thankful for you. And then she wrote, love you, Dad and Mom. I think it's funny that sometimes she says Mom and Dad, and sometimes she says Dad and Mom, but I can tell it's always her writing it, so that's, like, ridiculous. This one I assume is a Christmas card, because it was around Christmas. December 23rd, so... On the inside of the envelope, before you actually take the card out, it says, we love you and we miss you, Dad and Mom. And it is a, like, Shutterfly thing. I haven't actually looked at this one yet, so. It's a Shutterfly thing of a picture of my parents. They came to town, like, before Christmas. I suppose it was probably around Thanksgiving. And there was, like, a Christmas-themed thing happening in town, where you can, like, go, and one of the things you can do is get photos. by a Christmassy old truck in the snow. And so it's a picture of them there. This is just the, like, Christmas card thing that they send to everybody, so doesn't really mean anything. It's nothing specific to me, so. What I will point out is that they have pictures of them with my brother and pictures of them with my sister and brother-in-law. And they mention my sister and brother-in-law and my brother in this card, like in what they have written. And I say written, it's printed. They got it from Shutterfly, so, you know, like, whatever. So they mention my sister and brother-in-law and my brother in this, but they just don't mention me at all, which, like, obviously, as Midwesterners who don't like conflict, of course you wouldn't. You would just, you know, apparently just pretend I don't exist, which is fine. That's what you can do. I don't care. I just think it's funny because anyone they sent this to who knows they have another child is gonna be confused as heck. So, that's interesting. Yeah. Anyway, interesting. Ta-da. Like I said, that's one I hadn't looked at yet. And then here's the big one that I assume was sent for my birthday, because it was around my birthday, whatever. They were in Texas for a lot of January, and so it came from Texas, so maybe it's just that the card is large and weird. I don't know, but it's very thick, it feels heavy. Ta-da. And I haven't opened this one either, so, and this is the last one I have right now, so, hooray, this dumb recording is almost over. So it says, for our wonderful daughter, we're not sure we could ever find the right words to thank you for the gift you are in our lives, but we hope you know how much we love you and hope your birthday is as beautiful as you are to us. Happy birthday. Love, Dad and Mom. Okay, and then there is a handwritten note in here as well on several pieces. It's like 3 small notebook papers of notes. So this will be fun. I haven't read this. I might get emotional over this. We'll see. I love you. We love you. We will always love you. Your dad would lay his head on my tummy before you were born and talk to you. When you came into the world, it was one of the most magical experiences of my life. You have always been treasured by us. I wish I would have responded to your note. I don't know what that means. I didn't. It says, I wish I would have responded to your note to the club. I don't know what that means. I didn't know what to do. I should have sent a message at that time. We didn't approach you or hug you at your sister and brother-in-law's party because we weren't sure how it would go. It was so wonderful to see you. We miss you so much. So sorry, I'm pausing for a second. When my sister and brother-in-law had their 10-year anniversary party, my parents were there. I did not talk to them at all. I tried not to even look at them or deal with them. Fortunately, I was, like, helping my sister and brother-in-law with a lot of stuff, so I was busy a lot of the time. Anyway, back to this. Yes, we taught our kids to think for yourselves and have an independent mind. Your brother and sister both have their own ideas about things. That is the way it's supposed to be. We have all had different experiences in life, which makes us all unique in our ideas. This is the way it should be. We want so much to connect with you again, to see you. We miss you so much. We are so sorry about your cat. He was such a unique kitty. I was totally shocked when I heard he wasn't doing well, and then he was gone. It doesn't seem right. We are hoping that we can take you out for your birthday. Well, that didn't happen and will not happen. We can come to where you live anytime that weekend and go out Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, whichever works for you. You pick the place and we will pick you up and go. Just text me if you want to go and where and when. I am hoping this would be a wonderful time to reconnect. We just want you to know we love you and we will always love you. Text or call us if you want to go. Dad and mom. I shouldn't have done this. I am so bothered by this because it doesn't address any of the damn problems. It just feels manipulative. I know they don't think of it that way. It feels manipulative to bring up my cat. It feels manipulative to say we wanted to just take you out and reconnect. What is reconnect? They don't understand. They clearly still don't understand. Whew, I'm sorry, I am very emotional. I didn't expect to get that emotional about this. I also didn't expect there to be a handwritten note addressing none of the damn problems. Like, she's just said, oh, all she said is, we taught you to think for yourself. That's how it's supposed to be. That doesn't address anything. That doesn't say anything about how the things they believe are wrong and terrible. Yeah, I'm glad that they taught me to think for myself, but they also kind of didn't, because they've shoved Catholicism down my throat. And they forced me. This is something I haven't talked about in any of these recordings as far as I recall. They forced me to get confirmed in high school, go through Catholic confirmation in high school, even though I was an atheist already at that point and I didn't believe any of it, and I told them that much, and I said, it's not worth it, why am I doing this? And then and they forced me to do it anyway because I was still living in their house and I didn't have a choice. And the incredibly frustrating thing was, even though I, by that point was an atheist, I still, at confirmation classes, I still, was more knowledgeable about the subject matter than any of the other kids who supposedly were still Catholics who were there. Who were there and wanted to be there and wanted to be confirmed. As far as I know. Maybe none of them gave a shit about it. I don't know. But anyway, it's kind of funny that they are claiming they taught me to think for myself. I don't think they taught me that at all. I think I learned how to do it on my own. Because, again, they shoved Catholicism down my throat. We went to church as a family every Sunday. I went to a Catholic elementary school where I had not only religion classes, but also went to church for school every Wednesday. Then I also went to, I don't know what CCD stands for, but it was after school religion classes, and I went to that all throughout elementary school as well, which, those existed for kids who didn't go to the Catholic school, so I don't know why I had to go to that too. But, literally had Catholicism shoved down my throat. All throughout my upbringing. So it's freaking ridiculous of her to be like, yeah, we taught you to think for yourselves. No, you didn't. PBS taught me to think for myself, and all of the reading I did taught me to think for myself. You didn't teach me to think for myself. But also, I'm just so frustrated that I wrote to them telling them the reasons I don't want to talk to them. And she addressed absolutely none of them in her handwritten note. She addressed absolutely none of them. Why would I want to talk to her? That's ridiculous to me. So no, I am not going to contact them and tell them, yeah, you can come to town and take me out for my birthday a few weeks late. I'm not going to tell them that. I am not okay. I'm not okay with her note. I'm not okay with that. It doesn't address anything. It doesn't, she didn't apologize for anything that they have done. Okay, here's something I don't think said. The inciting incident that made me, realize that I cannot continue to be in contact with them at all. We were talking about stuff about I don't know exactly what. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was political views and stuff. Because it was right after the 2024 election. It was the Christmas after that election, and I was, I mean, I had been really good the entire time we were with family around that time. And just keeping my mouth shut about a lot of stuff, just not talking, not responding when they said things, whatever. But that morning, I was like trying to just watch some stuff to like get caught up with current affairs and things that are happening. And I was getting real frustrated with some of it. And then my parents, that is when my dad said, like, we got into an argument about politics, and my dad said the thing about Kamala Harris that I said earlier that I'm not going to repeat. But the thing I mentioned in my letter to them, that is the thing that my dad said. And that pissed me the heck off. And then my mom said something, I don't know why we switched to this, but she said something about how, whatever. I don't remember exactly what. I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but, like, whatever my mom said really set me off, and I almost, like, I wanted to, and this is not good, but I wanted to physically assault her. I wanted to beat her up for whatever she said. And, like, it was at that point I was like, I just can't be around them anymore. And it was like a righteous anger kind of thing. It was like, I don't know what, like, I was just so frustrated and so angry and so disappointed that they could still have these terrible thoughts and values and feelings about things and still, like, just be terrible people. Like, force their, like, the problem is they're trying to force their beliefs on other people. Like, for example, I don't care if you hate abortions. That doesn't mean you should take that privilege, that right, away from other people. That should be a choice people are allowed to make. Like, whatever. You shouldn't force other people to not have that choice. That's ridiculous. And come on. Just don't be assholes. Don't force your beliefs about it onto other people. I don't care if you hate trans people. I don't care if you think trans people aren't who they think they are. That's ridiculous and rude. A trans woman is a woman. I'm sorry. Like, maybe you don't agree with that, but that's on you. And why do you care? It doesn't affect you if a trans woman is a woman. Why does that affect you? I don't understand. That affects that person. That affects that trans woman. But it shouldn't affect anyone else. Like, what the hell? And you shouldn't, like, force them to be in an uncomfortable position by, for example, not being able to use the bathroom that aligns with their gender identity. You shouldn't force them into uncomfortable situations and potentially dangerous situations just because you think they're not a woman. Fuck that. You're ridiculous. So I was just, like, so ridiculously frustrated with these stupid, illogical, selfish positions they hold. And it just made me so angry. And this is, like, years of built-up trauma of that kind of stuff. Years of built-up trauma of them treating me poorly. And I almost assaulted my mom, but I did not. I held myself back. But I'm just like, if that is the last interaction we had, why do you even want to talk? Why do you think it's gonna be okay? Why do you think it's gonna end up any differently? So, I don't know. I'm frustrated by them. I'm incredibly frustrated that I took the time to send them a letter outlining the issues I have with them, and then they sent me something back addressing fucking none of it. That makes me so angry. But it's just proof to me that they are not going to change. They are not going to reflect on anything they have done. If they can't write it down in a note that they think I'm going to read for some reason, I have not given them the time of day in any of these things for a year. It's so frustrating to me. Anyway, part of me wants to just use the gift, I should use the gift card for something fun, something for me, because since it's a gift card, I can't just, donate it, unfortunately, but I should use it on something, for something that I wouldn't be able to get myself otherwise. That's what I should do with it. We'll see what I actually decide to do with it, but that is what I should do. The check, I could donate, so I probably will. It's not a lot of money, so that's a bummer, but anyway. Thanks for going on this emotional ride with me, folks, if you did. Yeah, this just kind of makes me wonder. It's only been a year, so I don't know that anything will change, but now I know. This is a thing, and I don't remember if I mentioned this in a recording or not, but the Friday before my birthday. So last week Friday, not yesterday, but last week Friday. My mom had texted saying something to the effect of, I just wanted to check and see if you got our card. And again, I haven't responded to any of her text messages either over the past year, so I don't know why she thinks I'm going to respond to it unless it actually addresses something. Which nothing has. It's always been just, I love you, I miss you. Okay, good for you. That is emotional manipulation. Please stop. But yeah, that explained, and then, I went out with my sister and brother-in-law for my birthday, and my brother-in-law mentioned that my mom had asked if I got the card. And I'm just like, why does she care so much? Yes, I got it. Have I opened it? No. But now I have, so whatever. But anyway, that explains why she cared so much, because she thinks she did something. She thinks she put out an olive branch, and she does not understand that she did not. Oh, that's unfortunate. I was hoping... I shouldn't have hoped. I was hoping if they ever did address it, they would actually address the problems, but no. Nope. I should have known better. And here we are. Anyway, yes, thank you for listening. Thank you for being here if you have listened to this whole thing. Yep, that's pretty freaking long. I don't think I'm going to edit this at all, and I think I'm just going to post it right away, even though I already uploaded a recording today. I think I'm just going to post it right away, because otherwise I will probably just delete it. And I don't want to delete it. Yeah. I want, part of me wants to delete this because it is vulnerable, and it is scary. But, also, maybe it will help other people. Yes, I'm adding one more thing, because I realized I should. So, the reason that incident made me want to go no contact was not only because, I realized they're just never going to change, they're always going to be this bigoted, they're always going to be like that, but also because I was I had the thought of, I wanted to beat my mother up over this because that is where they have pushed me to. Now, it would have been my choice to have done that if had I done it. I'm not saying they would have made me do it, but, you know, you keep abusing people and you keep traumatizing people, they're gonna snap eventually. And I don't want to get to that point. I don't. I've already fucked my life up enough. I don't need to fuck it up worse by going to prison for assaulting my parents. So, like, it's as much to protect them as it is to protect me, honestly. Like, I don't want to beat them up. And, like, they're old and frail now, so for all I know, it would be worse than just beating them up. I don't know. That would be a terrible thought, wouldn't it? So, I just, it's to protect them, too. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm over exaggerating probably. I probably just would whatever. I did not actually do anything, but I wanted to. And it was kind of scary that I even wanted to because I am not a violent person. um when my cat was around and he was annoying, it's like I didn't ever hit him or anything for being annoying or doing something bad. Like, I'm not a violent person. I don't want to hit or hurt anyone, really. I would just like everyone to be pals and be nice to each other, realistically. But, I mean, we don't live in that kind of world. Um, yeah. So, like, I am not a violent person. The fact that that is where my brain was going and what I wanted to do, it was scary to me also. So, yeah. Anyway, this is plenty long. I don't need to have any recordings this long, but maybe someone will actually be interested in it. Excuse me. Maybe someone will actually get something out of it. I don't know. Um, at the very least, thanks for, yeah, being on this roller coaster with me and dealing with emotions and stuff. Like I said, going no contact has not been easy and will probably never be easy. After reading that note, since what's caused me to want to read through all of these was trying to start thinking about whether or not I will ever reconcile with them, whether or not I would want to be at their bedside if they were sick. At this point, no, because the whole all I would think about the whole time is just like their terrible values and the fact that they hate people who are like me, which means they probably deep down actually hate me, even though they claim they love me. Like, I don't understand how you can love me if you hate people who are like me. How can you love me if you only love straight people? How can you love me if you hate anyone who's different? Like, I just don't. It's frustrating. Anyway, so I don't know. At this point in time, I would not want to be around them if they were sick. Like, it wouldn't matter to me. It would just be more manipulation. I wouldn't feel like I could be myself. So why would I want to be around them? I don't care if they are sick. Like, if I can't be me around you, why should I be around you? I I wouldn't want to be around them just to make them feel better because they don't deserve to feel better about this if they don't actually care about me as I am. So, yeah. I cannot imagine having a civil conversation with them. I can't imagine being. I just can't imagine being around them right now. Maybe ever. As long as they are like this, I can't imagine spending time around them. So, yeah. They're not going to get their way just by saying we love you over and over. That's not going to make me change my mind. Anyway, yeah. I guess that's where I am at right now. Whew, this whole no contact thing really kind of sucks. I would like to just, I don't know, maybe I should consider moving away and not telling them where. I don't think I could do that though, because I don't want to move away from my sister and brother in law. I like them, they are cool. And my friends who live in town, so yeah. Anyway, apologies, this just keeps getting longer. And like I said, I don't think I'm going to do a lot of editing. So, thank you for listening if you did. I know it has been a long one, and it has been an emotional one. But I do appreciate it. And this has been my Riacom, reading some cards that my mom has sent me over the past year. And trying to determine if no contact is still the way to go. And yes, no contact is still the way to go. We'll see if that ever changes. Have a good one, and I will try and chat at you again soon. Bye.